My name is Jenkin van Zyl, and we're currently in my new exhibition, Dance of the Sleepwalkers, which is a suite of new drawings and wall-based works and apartment buzzers that refer back to my film project, Surrender, and the kind of world building that came out from that. And so Surrender focuses on research that I did into 1920s and 30s dance marathons that were endurance pageants in which couples would dance nearly non-stop for months on end. I was kind of interested in them as a sort of foreshadowing of our contemporary attention economy and modes of reality TV, our kind of relentless production and content production. So the drawings here kind of situate us within the major tensions and themes of the film, starting with this drawing, Surrender, which kind of depicts two contestants in a marathon in the kind of late stages of the rapture and ecstasy of collapse. And so we see here this kind of inversion of binaries of success and failure. So they're kind of depicted in the middle of this vortex of arrows, sinking into a kind of slightly amorphous and strange yearning that kind of reflects some of the themes of the film, which is this kind of blending of the yearning for a beat, kind of victory, collapse, community. So this piece kind of centers us within that and is footnoted by the first of a series of apartment buzzers that kind of litter and clutter the space and contain sort of absurd and mischievous contradictions of potential rooms that may be behind the drawings and the show itself. Following on from that, we kind of have drawings that respond to key trust-building exercises that are played in the film. So there's an exercise called Smothering in Hugs that links to the key choreographic and visual motif of the Rat King, which is this idea of kind of a coiling knot of rats' tails that are formed during the cold. And so here we kind of see a contestant in a strange state of bliss, being kind of surrendering to the sort of hug of a knot of tails. And then elsewhere we have kind of depictions of trophies and sort of taunts of success that are then also counterbalanced by a smoke drawing which spells out there is no happier place than the losers, which both the sort of reenactment of the Wicked Witch of the West and the Wizard of Oz, kind of spelling out Surrender Dorothy in the sky as a taunt to the lead character, and also as a sort of celebration of failure or a kind of inversion of binaries of success and collapse. Then we also have a drawing that depicts a kind of strange advertisement that may have been pulled off the walls from the hotel that the film takes place in, called Limitless Growth. And this depicts a sort of advertisement for a mysterious energy drink that keeps the characters kind of propulsed and constantly moving. Again, sort of mirroring our attention economy and this need for endless production. This drawing, as well as some of the other ones, then also contains embedded sculptural objects. So there's sort of hints of drink cans or dogtooth tags that are kind of presented to the characters, or perhaps again like refer to things that might be embedded behind the drawings or behind the wall of the space. So then there is also a work here, Palace of Wasted Footsteps, and this is a kind of jigsaw of metal that refers to a nickname that was given to the dance marathons contemporaneously, which was the Palace of Wasted Footsteps. And this kind of nickname contains both the sort of ecstatic and like glorious like connotations of the prestige of these marathons and the sort of human desire for like attention, but also the sort of desperation and suffering inherent in them. So it contains this strange like conflict and binary opposition in one. Sort of imagine it like reflecting back like other drawings within the space. So it kind of becomes not only its surface, but also the whole show can kind of be contained within it. The exhibition is characterized by a kind of monochromatic palette that embeds the graphite drawings on paper within brushed steel and aluminium frames. And I wanted this to kind of work in tandem with the sort of button systems that also litter the space. And so they have this kind of sculptural sense of being embedded like within the walls, or kind of speak to passages through space, or kind of refer to the promise and the fantasy of like entering into another world. And these buzzes contain a mischievous and complex arrangement of potential rooms that could be encountered within the kind of fictitious hotel that Surrender takes place in. And so this kind of came out of some of my research into Japanese love hotels, which often have a kind of wide assortment of fantastical spaces that could be contained in a monotonous corridor. And so here, yeah, we kind of are presented with an absurd array of different potentials that kind of list from the horrific to the gorgeous to the frightening to the plain confusing. And so I kind of like some of this play with mischief and potentiality. And that kind of mirrors a lot of my research in both firsthand and more broadly in the kind of wide array of subcultural and countercultural spaces and how the body is kind of reimagined within them and how escapism becomes a way to kind of reimagine other worlds and to kind of bring some of that learning like into the real world and kind of to imagine how we can undo some of the structures that surround us, but also how spaces of fantasy can become kind of mirrors or containers for the politics of the things that surround us outside of them.